I was drinking coffee by the window when the knock came, sharp and heavy, like it already knew my name. "Ethan Miller?" a man's voice asked. "Yes," I said, opening the door. "What's this about?" "Police," he replied. "Turn around." My mug slipped from my hand. "You've got the wrong house." I didn't do anything. Hands grabbed my arms. Cold metal closed around my wrists. Neighbors stepped outside. Curtains moved. Phones came out. "Ethan, what's happening?" Mrs. Parker shouted from across the street. "I don't know," I said. "I swear I don't know." One officer read from a paper. "You're under arrest for aggravated homicide." "That's impossible," I said. "You're lying." They pushed me into the car. Sirens stayed silent, but the looks were loud enough. I saw my reflection in the window. I already looked guilty. At the station, they asked questions that didn't make sense. "Where were you Tuesday night?" "At work," I said. "You can check." "Did you know the victim?" "No." "Then why does he name you?" "I don't even know him," I said. This is insane. Hours passed. No calls. No explanations. Just a cell, and my thoughts eating me alive. I kept saying my name in my head. Ethan Miller. 32. Warehouse supervisor. Married. Innocent. In court, my lawyer leaned close. "Stay calm," he whispered. "Tell them I didn't do it," I said. "Please." He nodded but didn't look sure. Daniel Cross stood up, confident, smiling like this was a game. "The evidence is clear," he said. "The defendant had motive and opportunity." "That's not true," I said, standing. "You're twisting everything." "Sit down," the guard snapped. I turned toward Emily. She was behind me, hands over her mouth, eyes red. I said. "Look at me." She shook her head, crying. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For what?" I asked. Judge Harris cleared his throat. "Order." Witnesses spoke. Lies stacked on lies. My lawyer stayed quiet too long. "Say something," I hissed at him. He avoided my eyes. The room felt smaller. Every breath burned. "The jury has reached a verdict," Judge Harris said. My heart beat so hard it hurt. "Guilty." The word hit harder than any punch. "No," I said. "Please." "You're wrong." "Sentenced to life in prison." My legs gave out. "I didn't do this," I said. "I swear." Guards grabbed me. "Ethan," Emily screamed. "I love you. I love you," I shouted back as they dragged me away. Her voice broke as the doors closed. The hallway echoed with chains. I realized then that prison wasn't the worst part. Losing my voice, my dignity, and my place in the world was. In the holding room, a guard pushed me into a chair. "Sit," he said. "I need to call my wife," I said. "You had your chance." "I need to explain," I said. "She thinks I did this." He laughed. "Everyone thinks that." I pressed my face into my hands. "This isn't real," I whispered. Another guard said, "You should have thought about that before." "I didn't do anything," I said. "Check again." They didn't answer. When they brought me back through the corridor, I saw Emily one last time. She was trying to run toward me. "Ethan, wait," she cried. "Please." I pulled against the guards. "Emily, listen to me." "I know," she said, choking. "I know you're not that man." "Then don't let them forget me," I said. She nodded, tears falling fast. "I won't." The door slammed between us. The sound stayed in my chest. I walked forward because I had no choice. Each step felt like I was leaving pieces of myself behind. I kept hearing the sentence again and again. Life. Prison. Forever. I understood something simple and cruel. My life outside had ended, and a different sentence had begun. I didn't know who I was supposed to be now. I wasn't a husband anymore. I wasn't a worker. I was a number waiting to be written. As they led me away, I looked back once. No one was there. That was when I knew the truth. They hadn't just taken my freedom. They had taken my name, my future, and my place in the world, and nothing hurt more than that moment. I promised myself I would remember this day clearly. Not for anger, not for revenge, but so I would never forget how easily a life can be erased when your voice no longer matters. I walked forward in silence, knowing the man who entered that courtroom would never walk out the same again. That understanding followed me like a shadow as the doors closed behind me. I never saw daylight the same again. Ever. The first night inside, I asked the darkness, "How long do you think this lasts?" A voice answered from the other bunk. "Longer if you keep talking to the walls." I turned my head. "Who are you?" "Marcus Reed," he said. "And you're new, which means you're scared." "I'm not scared," I said. He laughed softly. That's fear talking. The days blended together fast. Doors slammed. Chains rattled. Men shouted names I didn't know. Every sound felt like a warning. I whispered one night, "They got it wrong." Marcus said, "They usually do." "I didn't kill anyone," I said. "Doesn't matter in here," he replied. "What matters is whether you break." "How do I not?" I asked. "You watch," he said. "You listen. You don't trust easy." Guard Collins walked past our cell every morning. "Stand up," he barked. I stood. "Sir, can I make a call?" He smirked. "You already did enough talking." At night, I replayed the trial. Daniel Cross smiling. My lawyer silent. The word guilty echoing again and again. I whispered, "Who set me up?" Marcus said, "Someone who benefits from your silence." Letters from Emily came once a week, then every 2 weeks. Her handwriting grew smaller. "I'm trying," she wrote. "Lawyers cost money." During a visit, she sat across from me, eyes heavy. "I'm fighting," she said. "But funds are low." "What aren't you saying?" I asked. She looked away. "I'll find a way." Back in my cell, I stopped crying. I started watching. I waited behind the glass when Emily walked in, already feeling something was wrong. She wasn't alone. A man in a clean gray suit followed her, confident, calm, smiling like this place belonged to him. "This is Nathan Blake," Emily said softly, not looking at me. He nodded once. "Ethan Miller. I've heard a lot about you." "From who?" I asked. "From people who matter," he said. "People who decide how long men stay locked away." I leaned forward. "If you're here to help, say it clearly." "I can help you," Nathan said. "But help isn't free." Emily whispered, "Please, Ethan, just listen." Nathan placed a folder on the table. "Appeals take years. Judges forget names. Evidence fades. I can move faster." "At what cost?" I asked. He smiled. "You're sharp. I like that." I asked a question. "Leverage," he said. "That's what changes sentences." "I don't have money," I said. "I'm not asking for money," Nathan replied. Emily's hands began to shake. "That's enough. You said you'd explain." Nathan stood. "Think about it. Time is cruel in places like this." He tapped the glass once and walked out. The door shut. Silence rushed in. What did he mean? I asked. Emily stared at the table, breathing hard. "Emily," I said. "Talk to me." Her voice cracked. "He said he'd fight harder if I cooperated." I felt my stomach drop. "Cooperated how?" She cried. "Personal. He said it was the only way." "No," I said. "You walk away." "I can't," she said. "You're disappearing in here." "I'm still me," I said. "Don't let him take you too." She shook her head. "I haven't agreed." "I swear." I pressed my hand to the glass. "Promise me you won't." "I'm trying," she whispered. The guard called time. Emily stood slowly. "I love you," she said. "I love you enough to say no," I replied. She nodded, but fear followed her out. That night, Marcus watched me pace. "Bad visit." "They want my wife," I said. He swore. "Then they already own part of you." He called it a favor. Marcus laughed dryly. "Favors cost more than money." I lay awake, staring at the bars. My sentence hadn't ended my suffering. It had passed it on. Emily didn't come the next week, or the one after that, and every day I asked the guard, "Any visitors?" "Not for you," Collins said each time, not even slowing down. Marcus watched me stare at the door. "Silence usually means something already happened," he said. "Or it means she's scared," I said. "Sometimes that's the same thing," he replied. When she finally came, nearly a month later, I knew before she spoke. Her walk was slower. Her shoulders were heavier. She sat down without reaching for the glass. "Emily," I said. "Hey, look at me." She kept her eyes down. "I'm here." "That's not what I asked." She lifted her face for a second, then looked away again. Something in her eyes was missing, like a light someone forgot to turn back on. "Did he call you again?" I asked. She swallowed. "Ethan." "Don't," I said. "Just answer." Her hands twisted together. I tried everything else. My chest tightened. "Emily, talk." She whispered. "I couldn't watch you disappear." The words landed hard. I leaned forward until my forehead touched the glass. "You didn't have to do it." She shook her head. "You don't know that." "I do," I said. "I'd rather rot in here than have this on you." Tears slid down her face. "I didn't do it for him." "Then why does it feel like he won?" I asked. She covered her mouth. "I was breaking, Ethan. Every letter. Every visit. I felt like I was burying you alive. Rage rose fast, sharp and hot. So you buried yourself instead? I saved you, she said, louder than before. I couldn't lose you too. I wanted to scream. I wanted to smash the glass. I wanted to pull her back in time. You should have told me no, I said. I tried, she whispered. I failed. The guard stepped closer. Time. Emily stood, finally meeting my eyes. I'm sorry. I nodded because anything else would destroy us both. Days later, my name was called unexpectedly. A guard said, appeal review granted. Inmates slapped my back. Lucky man, someone said. I smiled for them, then sat alone on my bunk, feeling empty. That night, I punched the wall until my knuckles split. Marcus grabbed my arm. You'll break your hand. I already broke worse things, I said. Blood ran down my fingers, but I didn't feel it. I stared at the bars and whispered, I'll survive. Not for revenge. Not for anger. For her. So what she gave up wouldn't be wasted. Time stopped being days and started becoming years, and somewhere between counts, my sentence changed. A guard opened my cell one morning and said, Miller, review came back. You're not doing life anymore. How long? I asked. Enough to matter, he replied. Marcus slapped my shoulder. Told you. Nothing stays frozen forever. I trained harder after that. Not just my body, but my patience. I listened more than I spoke. I watched who talked to who. Prison teaches you patterns. One evening, Marcus leaned close. You want answers, or you want comfort? I want the truth, I said. Then meet Caleb, he replied. Caleb Turner sat across from me in the library, calm, sharp-eyed. Marcus says you're careful. I had to be, I said. He nodded. Good. Careful men survive. What do you know about Nathan Blake? I asked. His jaw tightened. More than I should. Say it. He hunts desperation, Caleb said. Families. Wives. Mothers. Promises miracles. My hands curled. How many? Enough to make it a system, he replied. So I wasn't special, I said. No, he said. You were selected. I met with him often after that. We spoke in half sentences, passed notes, memorized names. Proof didn't fall from the sky. It was built quietly. Emily's letters slowed. When they came, they were shorter. I'm trying, she wrote once. Another time, I can't sleep. Then finally, I'm leaving town. I called her during visitation. Why? I can't breathe here, she said. Everyone looks at me like they know. Do what you need, I said. You're not stopping me, she asked. I stopped holding, I replied. She cried softly. I loved you. I know, I said. After that, I didn't write back. Caleb slid a folder toward me one night. Enough to begin. For what? I asked. For balance, he said. I looked at the pages and felt something change. I wasn't waiting anymore. I was preparing. For the first time, power felt possible. They called my name before sunrise, and for a second I thought I was dreaming. Miller, the guard said. Pack your things. I sat up slowly. For what? New evidence, he replied. You're leaving. Marcus stared at me. Say that again. I'm leaving, I said, my voice shaking. He pulled me into a hard hug. Don't waste it. I won't, I said. Outside the gates, the air felt lighter, like the world had lost weight while I was gone. Emily wasn't there. No one was. And somehow that felt right. A man in a dark coat met me across the street. Ethan Miller? Yes. I'm Agent Lewis. You've been very helpful. I did what I could, I said. He nodded. You did more than you know. Weeks passed quietly. I answered questions. I handed over notes. I said names out loud that had lived in my head for years. One night, my phone buzzed. Turn on the news, Caleb texted. I sat on my bed and watched. Nathan Blake's face filled the screen, pale, sweating. No smile left to hide behind. Attorney Nathan Blake was arrested this morning, the reporter said, on multiple charges including coercion and corruption. I didn't cheer. I didn't smile. I just breathed. Another message came in. I'm sorry, Emily wrote. I destroyed myself trying to save you. I stared at the screen for a long time. Do you want to meet? She asked. I agreed. We sat across from each other in a small cafe. She looked smaller somehow. I live with it every day, she said. What I did. I know, I replied. I didn't deserve forgiveness, she said. I'm not here to give it, I said. She nodded, tears falling. I just needed you to see me. I see you, I said. That was enough. When I left, I didn't look back. Justice didn't heal me, but it let me walk forward. I still wake up early, even though no one counts me anymore. Some habits don't disappear just because the door's open. Coffee, the volunteer asked. Yes, I said. Black. She slid the cup toward me. You're good with the new guys. They remind me of who I was, I replied. I spend my days listening now. Wrongful convictions. Bad lawyers. Lost evidence. I sit across from men behind glass and say, tell me everything. One of them asked, why do you care? Because someone cared about me once, I said. I drive to the prison once a month. Marcus waits on the other side, same crooked smile. Look at you, he said. Free and boring. You kept me alive, I said. Then don't disappear, he replied. I won't, I promised. On the way out, I thought about Emily. I don't hate her. I don't love her either. She made her choice. I made peace with it. Nathan paid his price. I paid mine too. I was sentenced to life in prison, but I wasn't meant to die there. I walk forward now, carrying my scars without chains.